This ain't.
Yeah, we on. What's popping? What's dropping? This your boy live and direct in full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how I do. Live and direct in full effect with my boy out the 662. Y'all already know how he do. What's popping and what's dropping, Craig? Excuse me.
Man, not much, man. We gotta hope. Well, we gonna try to keep this show short because probably around about between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. I got a engagement I got to attend. But get my notification on the phone. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. We're gonna be talking about our thoughts about part 3 and part 4 of the Last Dance and what they expect with part 5 and what they expect with part 5 and part 6. David Blatt has some interesting comments about LeBron. Also, we're gonna start a program about some feedback that we got from last week's show. Couple of little fan questions that we're gonna answer, and then Jimmy J and I we're gonna talk about on a little side topic. A picture of an interview had resurfaced from 10 years ago about Sandra Pepper from Salt and Pepper, Sandra Denton's comments about Will Smith. But let's start off the program by saying this program, the Jimmy J Smooth Network, along with the Let's Draw on Something podcast, which will hopefully be returning soon, is brought to you in part by Trey Styles Custom and Designs. There's nothing he can't customize. All his customs are the same, just like women. He keeps them satisfied. They wake up one morning with money, they subject to go crazy. Hit him up for all your NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, FCS soccer, MLS soccer, and all other needs. He does. He's currently doing customized facial masks right now during this COVID-19 epidemic. So hit him up. You can find him on Facebook at Trey D Murphy, or if you like, you can shoot him a text, or you can call him at 901-364-3698. That's 901-364-3698. He's getting some good business right now, and hopefully, hey, y'all can come on with it. Y'all can come on with it. Keep it going for him. All right, Jimmy, we're going to first start up talking about the feedback. I got some pretty good feedback, man, on my end on your show last week, despite how long it was. Had people were saying how very informative I was about things that happened in Chicago, despite me moving away from it. And they said that's really a good thing. So, yeah, I do agree. I was very informative about a lot of things about the Vanoys, the former, Juanita Vanoy, the ex-wife of Michael Jordan, and everything else. And also, somebody on one email, they tried to rebuke, I guess he the trolling or whatever was trying to rebuke my claim about I didn't know anything about Chicago. So to that person there, I may not know a whole much about Chicago, but I know more than your ass knew ever since when you were conceived. So with that being said, I clarified a few facts. I did clarify that through my cousin, who was Michael Jordan's housekeeper, by talking with his mother, that MJ, she was against MJ marrying Juanita. Everybody in Chicago knew that. When Michael Jordan's father got killed, there was no outstanding casino debt. So we got them the fuckwads of that media at the time to thank for that shit. He didn't get killed because Jordan didn't have no outstanding casino debt. He was just a target of a fucking robbery.
Exactly. And to debunk all that, Michael Jordan owned half of fucking Chicago in terms of real estate, which the reason why outside of the Nike contract, the ballpark endorsements and all that, with him putting assets into real estate, you know what I'm saying, at the time in which Juanita was running the real estate company, Juanita still runs it, you know what I'm saying? She just doesn't have as much say-so as she once was, but she still is like, got say-so in the real estate company, but not like she once did. But he owned all types of lakefront property up in Chicago. So there was no outstanding casino debt, and I'm glad you debunked that bullshit theory. Anybody who say that they don't know shit about Michael Jordan. So continue, brother.
But hold on, let me say this. Anybody that with what you just said there, Anybody say otherwise, y'all know a fucking thing about Chicago. So, but I did get some good feedback, and we did have one fan question in regards with this comes from Sandra, ironically in Chicago. Said, hello, Craig, Jimmy. She said, Craig, I was very pleased with you clarifying a lot of things about what went on with Michael Jordan while he was here in Chicago. And yes, I consider Michael Jordan the best Chicagoan ever to be a part of this city. My question to you, though, Craig, is you had mentioned that your mom had went to school with Juanita's sister back in the day. Did she ever interact with her? If so, what was it like? What was it like for her? No, Sandra. It was just, it was more. But her friend, well, my aunt Teresa, my two aunts, my aunt Teresa Haynes, hey T, and Elaine Lunkins. They're friends of mom's, but I call them AT. They're part of close like family. I'm pretty sure either one of them have some good stories about her. But those two had several classes with her. Mom's never had a class. Mom's never had a class with her, and the only brief interaction was, was like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing?" and kept it moving. So that's the only interaction that she really did have with her. But again, but she did state that the Vinoys, that's not the Benoit. I thought when she said Benoit or whatever, Vinoy as they call it, the Vinoy that's spelled Vanoy. They lived in the hood and they moved to the suburb known as Morgan Park. So, and then when they moved to Morgan Park, they brung their hood to the burbs. They were ghetto. They lived and Jimmy heard it, and I'm pretty sure you all heard it on last week's show how Mom said it. They were ghetto fabulous. They lived ghetto fabulous.
Exactly. There you go.
So no, Sandra. Now Mom's didn't have no interaction with her. She just told me her name, Rhonda. That's her sister's name, Rhonda. She never had any interaction with Rhonda, but my Aunt Teresa and Aunt Elaine, I remember, but my Aunt Teresa said that she took several classes with her, and I believe she had some interaction. So it would have been something.
And also, from my understanding, I don't know which side of the family, but I think her mother side of the family is from Puerto Rico, from what I understand. I know her dad is from the States. One is one of the parents. One of the parents is from the States, and one of them is from Puerto Rico. They came.
Mama from Puerto Rico.
Mama from Puerto Rico. Okay, thank you. She's her mom was born in Puerto Rico. Juanita is a second generation Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? So,
but she can pass for black.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just what it is. Also, a lot of people may wonder why she's so light skinned, but yeah, her mother is from Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yep. So that children is half black, half Puerto Rican, and they got more black in them than anything. So.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, Jimmy. First topic of the day. What were your thoughts of parts 3 and 4 of The Last Dance, and let the viewers know what they can expect for part 5 and part 6?
Great. I love the last two things because it shows how angry and somewhat still angry that Michael Jordan is with Isaiah Thomas, but for good fucking reason.
Thank you.
He has good reason to be mad at Isaiah Thomas. First of all, Isaiah Thomas clearly shut him out in the 1985 All-Star game because Isaiah Thomas was always jealous of Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep this a $110. He was always jealous of Michael Jordan. Isaiah Thomas was a great point guard in his own right. I respect him as an NBA player, but his saltiness can be seen with MJ. You just know it. So Michael Jordan is like, okay, fuck me and fuck you. That's kind of like how he looking at it, and he has every right. And I feel why Michael was coming from when he said, I shook y'all hand the 3 consecutive times that y'all beat me in the playoffs. Because first of all, Detroit beat them in the semifinals of the NBA finals. Semifinals of the NBA playoffs, the conference semifinals in 1988 when Michael Jordan became the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and scoring champion, which only a handful of times that's ever happened in history. I think that was the first time it's happened, but it's only happened one other time from what I understand. Maybe the only time, but I got to go back and...
but I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's not forget to mention in that 88 conference finals, the Bulls had the Pistons on the ropes.
Uh-huh.
They were up 2-love on their ass.
Yeah, and well, 80. You're probably talking about 89. 88. They lost in the conference finals, and then they played Boston in the conference finals. They played the Bulls in the conference semifinals because it was his first.
Well, I know in 90 though. Now I know in 90 the Bulls had them on the ropes too. I was there for that shit. I was there in Chicago for that.
Okay.
And and I'll tell you this here. The whole neighborhood was quiet. The whole city of Chicago. If you want to find ways to shut the whole entire city of Chicago up, 30 years ago, that was it. When the Bulls got their ass whooped like that. But continue.
But with Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas's, rivalry with one another, and while I have time, I'm going to be going back to the 90 conference finals and the 91 conference finals for safekeeping. But Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas have always disliked Michael Jordan. And the only reason why the Detroit Pistons could not do the Jordan rules sooner is because they couldn't do it sooner, mainly because Charles Oakley was not going to let them do that Jordan rules shit. Because if you go back, from 85 to 87 until Oakley got traded, the Chicago Bulls and Detroit Pistons were fighting then because of hard fouls. But they couldn't go after him. But after Jordan scored 55 points in the Pontiac Dome, that's when Chuck Daly said, we're going to have to start putting this dude on their asses. And, that's what they did. But Michael Jordan would still score 30, 32, 35 on y'all asses. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward to the 1991 NBA Finals, after Michael Jordan shake the Detroit Pistons' hand after defeat, after being butthurt, being crying, the Detroit Pistons walked off. And Bill Laimbeer made a lame-ass excuse talking about, well, they talked about how dirty it was. You motherfuckers was dirty. First of all,
y'all was dirty.
First of all, you could not out-jump Michael Jordan to save your life. You knew you couldn't jump, so you had to make all types of fouls. And part of the time, even with you doing all that fouling, he still made some plays on you. I remember the one move where he went behind the back and still scored on your punk ass because your intention was to foul him. That's all you was good for, other than
but when you look at that clip, you look back, the only two that walked off the floor was without shaking their hand was Laimbeer and Isaiah Thomas. Dennis Rodman, John Sally, James Evans, and a few other guys, they shook their hand. Dennis even said, hey, yeah, they kicked our ass. They had every right to. He said, but he made a little slick little point. If you go back on the app on the cutting room floor, Bill's supposed to be the damn leader of the team. Leaders don't do no shit like that. But then when they paying out to Isaiah Thomas, they talking about some Larry Bird and Dennis Johnson and Kevin McHale, they did it with us. Okay, just because they I'm gonna be honest with you, they had every reason to do it with them. But if Michael Jordan's showing y'all the same courtesy, because y'all want to be bitches about it because y'all couldn't take no ass whooping, then you know what? fuck that shit. Even Michael Jordan even said, he said, man, I don't even want. He said, I don't, he can apologize, but still, it's still gonna be bullshit either way it goes. Whatever Isaiah Thomas say,
and I agree.
So yeah, but I enjoyed it, man. But my take about it, I enjoyed it. Gave us insight on Dennis Rodman. Phil Jackson came out with it and said he had to G-check Dennis Rodman too. He was sitting there, he told Dennis, he said, Dennis, this woman do. I'm finna turn around, walk back out, because he was the way that I think they went over Jerry Krause's house. He said, I'm gonna turn around, walk back out that door. He said, I'm gonna come back in. He said, I want you to get your ass up, take your hat off, and shake my hand. Look me in my eyes, shake my hand, like what a man's supposed to do. He did it, and that's etiquette in men. Women are not known to shake hands, but they do it. But fellas, if you men, if you're gonna shake another person's hand, get up, take your hat off, take your shades off, unless you had eye surgery or whatever. And shake the person's hand.
Exactly. And understandably, with Dennis Rodman, he was an aloof person, but he still should show, especially being with the head coach of the team. Phil is the head coach of the team, and he should show him common courtesy. And I felt that was the right thing to do. And the thing was, what I liked about number 3 was they went into Dennis Rodman's background and stuff like that, and how he was.
His mom kicked him out.
His mom kicked him out, and he grew 5 or 6 inches and stuff like that. Because I don't think he played high school basketball, but when he grew, he went to a community college up in Oklahoma, and then he played at Southwest Oklahoma, and he led the nation in scoring and rebounding. And like you said last week, he had a better offensive game, especially a mid-range or 3-point shot better than what people are accustomed to seeing with Dennis Rodman. But Chuck Daly made him a defender more than he was an actual scorer. Because if you look at the Lakers series, he was doing a lot of scoring in the Lakers series, but he was like, hey, I need you to focus more on the defensive end. And Dennis Rodman kind of like, okay, I'm going to focus more on the defensive end, and I'm going to focus on locking in James Worthy, in which he did. You know what I'm saying? Once he was able to lock in on James Worthy in the 89 finals, which the Detroit Pistons ended up sweeping the LA Lakers.
And a future reference on that 89 Lakers team, I believe they finished 63-19 or 70 or 67-15 that year. Jimmy Wikipedia, 88-89 Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Let me let everybody know what the Lakers playoff record was before they met up with Detroit. First round, they went 3-0. Western Conference semis, they went 4-0. Conference finals, they went 4-0. So you do the math, that's 11-0. Then when they went with the Pistons blew their ass out 4 games. And none of the games were close.
Oh, none of them were, except game 2. Game 2 was a 3-point win by the Pistons, but other than that, it wasn't.
But you gotta look. But when you look at it though, you gotta look at when the Bulls played the Lakers in the '91 finals. We had the Bulls had the first game won, Jack. They messed around and left Sam Perkins open. The Bulls had game 1 of the finals won, and when Jordan was about to hit that shot, and then when that shot rimmed out, like what the hell? And we all like, man, Michael Jordan never misses a game winner.
Yeah,
because he hit a 3-pointer.
And to the Lakers' credit, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar aged very, very heavily in the 88-89 season. He aged very heavily. But for them to get to the championship game with the aging of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that was very interesting in itself. And Worthy and Johnson had to take more of the scoring load because, you know, in all honesty, Kareem should have retired in '88.
Mm-hmm.
He should have retired in 1988. But
and here was something which y'all didn't know with Kareem, that, you know, with the game was evolving. Goddamn, Kareem was out popping threes like it wasn't shit.
Yeah, and you know, his last game in game 3, the game that the second to last game, he scored 24 points in game 3. But like I said, you're talking about an aging Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
You know, that was like his last great game that he had. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as an aging Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, unfortunately. And another thing that contributed to the Detroit Pistons sweeping the Lakers was Magic Johnson was hurt. He was playing on a real fucked up ankle, unfortunately for him. So what Chuck Daly did was that the fact that Joe Dumars was, you know, Magic Johnson was defending Joe Dumars, because Joe Dumars became the NBA Finals MVP, and he was the guy that carried them. You know what I'm saying? He carried them. You know, Joe Dumars would drive to the basket right on Magic Johnson, and he could not play defense, and that really contributed to Magic Johnson playing minimal minutes in Game 4 and stuff like that. He would tell him, like, run it, you know, go to the basket on him, because Joe Dumars was more known for, you know, as a, you know, pull up mid range shooter and a good 3-point shooter. So he was like, hey, drive him to the basket. He's hurt. He can't do nothing to you. Same tactic that Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan did to James Worthy in the 1991 NBA Finals. You know what I'm saying? He did the exact same, because, you know, James Worthy was not 100% healthy. He had a couple of good games during the series, but he would tell him, if James Worthy is defending you, go to the basket on him. That what Phil told Scottie and, you know, Michael Jordan on him. So, you know, you see a wounded dog, guess what? You're going to take advantage of a wounded dog and stuff like that. So, but back to Dennis Rodman's story, you know, Phil understood, you know, Dennis Rodman was gonna need some time to figure things out. And like the time toward the end of the first series, going into the fourth show, Dennis Rodman he had 72 hours to come back to
wait a minute. Dennis Rodman told Dennis Rodman?
Hold on. Phil Jackson told Dennis Rodman.
All
right. Phil Jackson told Dennis Rodman he got 72 hours to come back to. No, 48 hours. I'm sorry. 48 hours.
He had 48 hours to come back from Vegas.
From Vegas. And it was 55 hours. So Michael Jordan got on his private plane.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, Carmen Electra told that story. Let me go ahead, because you're going to mess the story up. Carmen Electra said the same thing. Said she told Dennis that he had 48 hours, so it was 55 hours. She said, and then it panned on to Jordan. He said, I got my ass on my private plane to find out where he was at. And Carmen Electra said, and there was like this bang on the door. She said, and I got up and I looked. She said she looked through the peephole. She's like, "Oh shit, it's Michael Jordan." She said, and she was crazy about Michael Jordan. You know, the play as being a fan of Michael Jordan. She said, "Hell, I don't want him to see me like this." So she did something to wake Dennis. She said she did something to wake Dennis up, or something. She kind of unlocked the door and she hurried up and ran and hid somewhere. Had his feet on and hid somewhere. And then that's when it panned on to Mike and said, when I saw Dennis, he said, I'm not even gonna get the detail about it. And that's why you've been seeing the meme with the 5 heartbeats about what's his name? Eddie Kane. when the Five Heartbeats found Eddie Kane in that damn hotel room with all the women in there and the food and stuff all on the bed and everything. So you can imagine that scene. Yeah.
Now what I didn't know that Dennis Rodman was messing with Tony Braxton. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, you know, now she tried to deny it, but too many goddamn pictures surfaced with her in that nigga for it not to be true. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really say nothing about no celebrity and it not be true. It'd be defamation of character. I'm like, come on, baby. It's too many pictures with this nigga. You know, Dennis Rodman, yeah, he wore dresses and all that shit, but that dude was more of a player than what people realized Dennis was. Man, that boy was and matter of fact, believe it or not, Dennis Rodman was married to Carmen Electra. It was a temporary. I knew that. It was a married. I think they got it annulled because you know both of the ass was doing drugs. They got caught with some drugs years ago. By
the way, Carmen Electra, she still look good for her age, though.
She still look good for her age. So that what it shocked me that they were caught with some. I think they were caught with cocaine or heroin. They were caught with something in
cocaine.
You know, cocaine, and they had the marriage annulled, some shit like that. And after the marriage was annulled, they were still fucking.
Yep.
They were still fucking because they got arrested again together.
And I think she was at his Hall of Fame induction too.
Because I think when they got arrested one time, after they got the annulment, you know, I think one of the officers caught them butt naked with one another. And, you know, I don't think this was a drug charge, but I think it was a domestic dispute, some shit like that. They caught them both of their ass naked. I don't know what the fuck happened.
They wasn't fighting. She did say they had some good times, you know, wasn't nothing bad.
Yeah.
But indecent exposure, I think that's what it was when they got caught butt naked. Indecent exposure.
Yeah, because, you know, that's crazy as hell, but Carmen, you know, a backstory on Carmen Electra, she also used to date Prince in the early 90s. A lot of people don't really, that's how she got the name Carmen Electra. Prince named her Carmen Electra. You know what I'm saying?
What's her real name?
I'll look this up as we speak.
Yeah. And also on another topic after this, Jimmy McWright. Once again, it's time for there's going to be another edition after we get through talking about The Last Dance, parts 3 and 4, our review. Jimmy McWright is going to take the wheel on a person. And I'm talking about he has pure, unfiltered, unadulterated, bridge-burning hatred for this person. And I will spill the beans once we get through talking about that.
Yeah. Her real name is Tara Lee Patrick. That's her real name, actually. But somewhere down in her genealogy, she's Hispanic. Somewhere down in her genealogy.
I can tell by looking at her, she's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't give her credit on. She's a good actress.
Oh yeah, that's her.
She's just chilling.
Yeah, and I have to be cautious of this. There's a porn star named Tara Lee Patrick as well. So, but that's probably why she kept the Carmen Electra. She kept it Carmen Electra because there's a porn star named Tara Lee Patrick. You can, if you're one of them people that want to beat your meat, you can look this up. This ain't me just saying some shit.
No,
I'm just saying.
Hey, by the way, how you like that thumbnail that was created for you?
I love every minute of it.
I didn't create that, by the way, but when I saw it, I said,
"Yeah, mama." Okay, yeah. So everything I'm saying is accurate. Prince did name. She was signed to Paisley Park, and he gave her the name Carmen Electra. Yeah, he gave her that name. That's indisputable. He dated her. He was dating her at the time, like everybody else. Yeah, and she's the youngest of 6 children. Yeah, youngest of 6 children. Yeah, that's definitely Hispanic all day. Yeah.
But another takeaway, what I got it back from the let's dance. The Last Dance. Doug Collins. I like Doug Collins as a coach. First of all, when he admitted that he was so resistant to change because he still wanted to keep, I think he was really running a motion offense with the Bulls, but he wanted to be, make it just all about Jordan. But when they suggested something about the triangle offense, we'll get into basketball philosophies in another time to break down the triangle offense, which was orchestrated by Tex Winter when he was a coach at Kansas State in 1960. So, and Dennis Rodman, there's a clip on ESPN where Dennis Rodman just shows his basketball IQ. He was not reading from no fucking script or whatever you say what it was. And one thing about Dennis Rodman, he did say he picked up on things quick. He said the triangle that more was that wasn't just an individual, not just it was an offense that focused on everybody. It's complicated, but it works. That triangle offense got the Bulls 6 of 8 championships. So I admit that the fact that Doug Collins had admitted that he was resistant to change. He didn't want to change shit up. But Jerry Krause was the one that pulled the trigger on Doug Collins' firing. And when Jordan found out about it, he said, man, you got to have a lot of balls to do that.
Yeah, because
he did have a lot of balls.
He had a lot of balls, but the downside to Jerry Krause is Jerry Krause, tried to pull too many moves like that, and it just backfired on him. And with the firing of Doug Collins, I think even with Doug Collins, they would have probably got a championship. It might have took a year longer for them to win a championship with Doug Collins. But I think it was more so, office politics, as we saw with Jerry Krause, it was a lot of office politics going on with.
But you also got to equate that to what Joe Dumars did when he was the general manager of the Pistons. When we hired Rick Carlisle for the 2002-2003 season, he fired Rick Carlisle after Rick Carlisle got them in the playoffs, hired Larry Brown, and what happened? He won a championship.
But with Dumars, because he hired Carlisle, Larry Brown, Flip Saunders. Flip Saunders took him to 4 straight conference finals after Larry Brown. He fired Flip Saunders after that, but he more so had the talent he had enough talent to where before Ben Wallace left the Pistons, he had enough talent going around to where he could mix and mingle with coaches and shit like that. I don't think Krause had that luxury. Now with the luxury that he had is he had Phil Jackson, who had success in the CBA, and then Tex Winter as his assistant. So he kind of saved his own ass to a certain degree. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? It's like, it's like one of the what the fuck are you doing type moves with Jerry Krause. So, with that being said, Krause got lucky. Krause got lucky with the Phil Jackson, and he got lucky with Tex Winters being the assistant coach and the architect of the triangle offense. Because before, like with Phil Jackson, when he was in the CBA, he didn't use the triangle. You know what I'm saying? When he was in the CBA and when he was coaching in Puerto Rico and all those other, because it kind of went into Phil Jackson's life and stuff like that. And Phil Jackson was a physical, pretty good rebounder at the New York Knicks, pretty good role player when Willis Reed and Jerry Lucas and those guys won the NBA championship a couple of times. He was a pretty good physical specimen in his own right as as a power forward / center when Willis Reed got into foul trouble and stuff like that. So I like how they went into his life and how he used to be on. Phil Jackson. A lot of people didn't know this. This was
he was on acid.
He was on acid. You know what I'm saying? And damn near ruined his marriage. You know what I'm saying? Damn near with him being on acid and stuff like that, unfortunately. And
right.
for a guy to be as humbled as Phil Jackson, Buddhist, he's a Buddhist, and very philosophical guy, it just really surprised me. But it just
he's real. He kept it real. I mean, that says one thing that people didn't know about Phil. Phil kept it real, man. I mean, he didn't, because he was saying the time he growing up, he said, hey, he didn't give a damn about all that black and white shit. He looked at it like this here. He didn't look at color. He respected you because he said, stuff that was going on in the 70s and the time he was growing up, because he grew up in a religious family anyway.
Mm-hmm.
In North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the one thing you don't put Phil back in, please, and whatever y'all do, don't put his ass back in the fucking front office where it be demanded that any coach that he hires has to run the damn triangle offense. That's what got Jeff Hornacek fired with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. Jeff
Hornacek wanted to run his own half-court motion offense that worked with Phoenix. When at the time he was at Phoenix, but he didn't want, but for some reason couldn't work with the Knicks. But like with Phil, and then with Doug Collins, I mean, Doug even admitted, he said when he first learned about the triangle offense, I mean, he admitted, he said it was like, to him, he said, oh, okay, that's a cool concept, yeah, but I'm still do things my way. But he said he wish he had tried it because maybe he would have had his job. But but he never had a bad thing to say about Jerry Krause. And then with his time with Detroit, I don't think he never had a bad thing to say about Jerry Krause. He never had a bad thing to say. He really didn't have a bad thing to say about Phil. He said him and Phil pretty cool. Oh. He said even when they were he said anytimes, he said when I went coach Detroit, he said if you would see us when we would shake hands and we would hug for a minute, we would talk. He said, yeah, I mean, that's how much the respect, that's how much respect Doug Collins had for everybody. He did admit it. At his young age at the time, he was an honored motherfucker. He was hard headed. I look at his son, Chris Collins, at Northwestern. I don't know how at Northwestern. He coached at Northwestern University. First year NIT, second and third straight year, 2 straight NCAA tournament berths. And I think they were on their way to one. I have to check that record. Well, was it a college? Yeah, college basketball. See there how this pandemic got us. Mm-hmm. I got to check Northwestern's basketball record to see if they were going to be able to qualify for the tournament. But Chris Collins is doing a pretty good job at Northwestern. But Chris's problem is you can't coach like the guy that you was an assistant with.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know who that coach is. Chi-Town's finest, known as Coach K.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I like the offense that he running. He put his own little twist to the. I call it the Coach K offense, but he put his own little twist to it. Huh?
Basically, yeah.
He put his own little twist to it, but you gotta. Hey, Chris Collins, you gotta step your recruit game up, man, because you got all these cats: Simeon, Finger, Whitney Young. Man, you better get them cats out, man. You better get them 4-star, leftover 4-star recruits before they go somewhere and don't get appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Because
like with Northwestern, even though it's a private institution, you're in a hotbed for talent, so it's no excuse not to win in Chicago. It's no excuse not to win in Chicago. So he has a major advantage just being in the hotbed of Chicago. So I mean, step your game up, step your recruiting game up, and try to have your own identity. Again, it's not about how long you coach, whether it's assistant or head coaching. It's about coaching. Coaching is about motivating players. What does it take to get your players to respond and respond effectively to share a common goal to help your team win? Yes, you did a great job of, having Northwest, get into their first. I think they made it past the second round for the first time at Northwest, I think. But nevertheless, Chris, step your game up. Get them boys out there. So get them boys out there. Now on Doug Collins was doing a good job at Detroit because Grant Hill really liked him, and then he had elements of the triangle at Detroit. He used elements of it at Detroit.
Yeah, he used. That's what I said. He used the multiple offense. Hold up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He
used the multiple offense with Detroit. I think really he was more. Let me put it like this. I think Doug Collins had evolved from whatever he was running with the Bulls. I think he was running a multiple with the Bulls, but then he became more multiple, more like I'll say more like Bill Parcells like with the offense as game. He was. I think their offense was more game plan, and it worked. Some instances it worked, some instances it didn't. But hey, first year they won 50 over 50 some games, and then the next 2 years they won 60. So and then with the change of regime, they got rid of. But from what I'm hearing, so we'll move on next topic. They said Grant Hill didn't like it, but then they said something about it had something to do with Grant Hill having a hand in helping Doug Collins get fired. Now I don't know how true that is, but I think it was more like a changing of the regime, change of the guard, stuff like that. But and we also got a fan question about that. It's a Tom Brady question too that we're gonna answer. Well, it's more coach related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but like I said, I don't know how true that is about Grant Hill having a hand in getting Doug Collins fired. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Because Grant Hill liked it.
Because I know Grant didn't like him at first. But Doug in the interview, he said, I was pushing him. He said, hey, he was telling him, he said, stop pussyfying yourself what you can do and go out there and do it. Because he knew Grant Hill was capable of shooting a doggone three.
Yeah.
And he basically told Grant Hill, I'm tired of seeing the same. Give me something different.
Yeah. And not just that, Grant Hill's best years was under Doug Collins. His best years, the peak of Grant Hill before injuries started taking place was under Doug Collins and shit like this.
Matter of fact, it was his rookie year. And really, Grant Hill was LeBron before LeBron was a thought. LeBron James was 10 years old when Grant Hill was kicking ass in the 94-95 season. Exactly. And look up who won. I believe he won Rookie of the Year. Look up who won Rookie of the Year in the 94-95 season. I could be wrong. Because Grant recorded more triple doubles than LeBron. It was recording triple doubles like before LeBron even was doing it.
Yeah, NBA Rookie of the Year. Oh, well, they tied. Jason Kidd and Grant Hill was tied that year.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, Jason Kidd, because like I said, that 94 draft class, and we're gonna do that on a future show. We're gonna talk about that 94, which I said was really one of the best draft classes yet underrated draft of all. But yeah, I mean, Doug Collins brought it out of him, man. But like you said, injuries. I know he had that nagging ankle injury, and I think he had got that microfracture surgery with his ankle. And we say it again, people. Man, if you got knee problems or whatever, and if you got knee issues and stuff like that, do not if put like this, if you really in a hurry to go back and make your money or whatever, okay, be our guest doing a microfracture surgery, but it's got its drawbacks. Look what happened with ask Penny Hardaway, ask Amari Stoudemire. They the main two, but yeah, but like you said, I mean, injuries eventually started taking its toll. And and then later on in Grant's game, he started doing them things, but he started becoming more of a three-point shooter as well.
Yeah.
So something what Doug was been wanting to get out of his ass for the longest, and Joe Dumars was still putting up some decent double-figure numbers in points for his age.
Yeah. Joe Dumars, Lindsey Hunter, Terry Mills, and those guys. I think had they got busted up that team, they could have did a little something, because when the Bulls busted up, Detroit could have easily slipped in the cracks and did their thing and stuff like that. And not just that, Grant Hill had a decent mid-range game. His mid-range jumper was unstoppable. But like I say, that's the difference between him and LeBron. He did a lot of things that LeBron did. He was smaller than LeBron, but he did a lot of, he did a lot of triple-doubling, and he was doing his damn thing. It was just that microfracture surgery. I hate that happened to him like that, man, because
I believe he did I believe that's what he did, because he never came clean about it. We knew he fucked his ankle up, but
yeah,
he had a chance to go to the Spurs. Spurs off him big time contract. He decided to go to Phoenix, and then what happened? The Spurs won the championship, and they was harping on about that. Said you could have had you a championship. But I like Grant Hill. I did get a question in my inbox about. I talked about Alonzo Mourning. Said when are we gonna have him on either one of our shows? I got to contact if he's down for it. Because I was Googling him, I think last heard, that said him and his wife, they got a divorce. And, his son, the youngest, Lonzo III, he plays for Georgetown.
Oh, okay.
He played for Georgetown. I don't know. So I'm going to have to do my little detective work and see if Lonzo Mourning on Twitter, find out if he down to do either one of Let's Draw on Something or the Jimmy J. Smooth podcast. So he be interviewed, and people will wonder why. I would tell him personally why he's my favorite player, and it's simple. You never heard you never hear a bad thing about him. He never did any effed up off the court shit. Nothing. You didn't hear nothing about him on the news. I mean, even though I'm mad at him every time, I still mad at him at the fact that it took him a minute to get over the hump when for them to put the Knicks out in the playoffs so they could face, but then they had the unfortunate task of facing the Bulls. Zoe is really one of the most underrated centers that had the one thing that some of these centers lack. The dude for his size has some unfreakish ass jumping ability. And that's all, and I'm just going to end it there. So, if I can be able to get in touch with him, if I find him on Twitter or whatever or whatnot, or if his son on Twitter, I'll reach out to his son and say, hey, partner and I, we interested in doing an interview with your dad. So any way we can get in contact with him or whatever.
He had more jumping ability than what people give him credit for. And which is why he even after the kidney surgery,
transplant.
He was still
he kicked that, and see, that's another reason why I like him too. He got more fucking balls. Zoe was a man's man for doing what he did, dog. He came back from a kidney transplant and kicked ass.
And led the league in block shots. When the
led the league in block shots. and won the championship in the year he won. In the year he led the league of block shots, he won the championship.
Yeah, like he, you know, his scoring, of course, was down in terms of scoring, but he was a great guy coming off the bench for Shaq because they were double and triple teaming Shaq, and somebody needed to step up. You know what I'm saying? And D Wade, you know what I'm saying? You know, D Wade during that series, he had came into his own that series. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the team, you know, Antoine Walker, you know, Jason Kidd, Jason Williams, they were knocking outside. You know?
Fuck Antoine Walker. I said fuck Antoine Walker.
But they still made big shots down the stretch during that series. They made some big shots when D Wade couldn't make them, or nobody else could make them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is when it comes to the come to Lonzo Mourning. But I'm glad he was able to bounce back and do his thing. And be bounce back the way he bounced back.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
But overall, Jimmy and I, another well done documentary on Part 3 and Part 4 of this Last Dance. It was real good. Now then, it is time for Jim McWright, and I'm gonna let him have at it. Jim McWright is gonna take the wheel on a person that he has gone on record on not only his show, but publicly on Facebook and even on Let's Draw Something. He hates this person with a passion. He hates this person for what they stand for. He hates this person because of a hatred cut but towards us. So, Jimmy McWright, your girl, Gabrielle Union, has publicly came out and admitted that she told Steph Curry's wife, Ayesha Curry, to leave him so she can have sex with other men.
Hood rat.
All right. So I don't need to explain any further. I was appalled by what Gabrielle Union said. Now, granted, Gabrielle beautiful, but after finding out her background, after what you told me, and then displaying her hatred with men, you know, I've lost a lot of respect for her as well, based off the fact that you're gonna turn D Wade's son into a tranny. I can't say the word I want to say because I
said tranny fanny. That's what the fuck he is. You turned your son
tranny fanny, but I was about to call him something else, a word that rhymes with Maggie. So I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna call him that. You turned, you know. She lost my respect when she turned D Wade's son into a tranny fan. Then you didn't pussy with D Wade to the point where which we talked about that, which is understandable. You know, his ex-wife Bonnie has the visitor kids, and then to a point made it where it was rumored has it that Gabrielle and pushed this man and make sure that their biological mama don't see their sons at all, which is effed up. Yeah. It was also revealed by Jim McWright that Gabrielle Union had admitted that she was raped at her job when she was a teenager by somebody, and which led to a hatred with men. She also admitted that the daughter that they have together didn't, you know, D Wade didn't do that Gabrielle didn't want to do it naturally. They did it with a surrogate, but she went on but then she gonna turn around and say that, yeah, I went through a whole and lying and bullshitting when it was out there publicly. But when they said that they had a surrogate, they hired a surrogate mother to have Gabrielle's egg implanted along with Dwayne Wade's nut implanted into the surrogate mama's body, and then she gonna go around and tell everybody, yeah, that her pregnancy was brutal. But really, if you was pregnant, you be bigger than what you are. Mm-hmm. But after this latest revelation, it is classic hood rat mentality. So, Jimmy McWright, Jimmy J. Smooth, if you will, my friend. Wait a minute. Let me find something right quick. Let me find it. Jim McWright. Start it up. Take the wheel.
Live and directed, full effect, man. Out the 832, man. But Gabrielle Union have just shown the classic case of hood rat behavior. Because I never liked. I wouldn't say I never liked the Gabrielle Union, but the last 5 years, it seemed like I never liked her. Because more and more she gets in the news. She right now she's just an attention whore at this point. At this point, she's just attention whoring. And then to make matters worse, even though I side eye Ayesha Curry, I have my side eyes with Ayesha Curry. But to tell her to get rid of Stephen Curry, her cash cow, so she can go have sex with other men, get the fuck out of here, Gabrielle. Bye, Gabby, or Gab. Man, I can't wait to make some names up for your ass. I cannot wait to make up some names for your goddamn ass. But anyway, Gabby is a true fucking hood rat. You're a certified hood rat at this fucking point. You a certified bark chicken head bitch, man, at this point. She's certified. Why would you tell that woman? And again, I have my questions for Ayesha, my damn self. You know, with her cat.
And by then, let me hold up, and then let me get you at this four-way stop with this one-way stop. Yeah, Steph Curry is Ayesha's cash cow, but Ayesha trying to make her own money, and she's in some shit her own self, which we'd rather not talk about. But continue.
Well, she did. From my understanding, she did open up a restaurant in Midtown Houston, and I don't know how that's working out and stuff like that. But again, you know, she is known by being the wife of Stephen Curry. That's where she gets her bread and butter in. That's just what it is. And there's nothing wrong with being the housewife. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think Ayesha Curry kind of needs to step back. You know, she's an Aries, and a lot of Aries are very arrogant and shit like that. So,
and then Steph is a Pisces, so Pisces are wish-washy.
But he's laid back. I'll give him that. He's a laid back dude. You know what I'm saying? So I really can't consider him wishy-washy because he's really laid back dude. And you know what I'm saying? And he tried to keep Durant on the team, but his fellow Pisces teammate, Gamon Gangrene, got his extra emotional ass feelings and ran Kevin Durant off, man. That's what it is. But Steph did try to keep him on the team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I give Steph credit where credit is due. He did try to keep that team together, unlike Gangrene. And then Gangrene is still talking that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, back to the conversation at hand. Miss Crappy Hell Union, you know, that big forehead bitch, that Miss Scary, whatever that TV show, that trash ass TV show on BET, whatever the fuck her got.
Being Mary Jane.
Being Scary Jane.
Yeah, I'll admit, I was into that show. I liked that show. That was a nice piece of work by Gab. But continue. That was some good work by Gab.
Yeah, but Crappy L Union, her crappy mouth ass, her shitty booty mouth ass, you know, tossing salad ass, want to try to give somebody dating advice. You should be the last person giving somebody dating advice after turning your fucking son into a tranny fanny. You know what I'm saying? You turned your fucking stepson into a fucking tranny fanny. You trying to give somebody advice? You know what I'm saying? In your household ain't all that. Your household is a mess right now. And you try to tell somebody, well, you need to see other men and shit like that. Yeah. Ladies, this is a message to the ladies. When you got a good man at home, sit y'all ass down. You can't do the same thing men do. It may sound hypocritical and all that, but it is what it is. You can't do the same thing men do. You just can't. It's just not built in you. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is this, and I'm not saying this is what men should do, and I'm not saying this is what anybody else should do. But a man can go out there and have sex on the side. A guy can do that, and he'll still keep his house and home. Why? Because once he busts that nut, he gonna come back to his senses. Y'all can't go out there and do that shit. Y'all just can't. It just not built in y'all. It just not. You cannot do that. Yeah. I'm just saying.
And y'all don't want to have it built in y'all. Them ethics built in. Women don't want to have those type of ethics built in them either. They just want to take the nut home and come on back home, and then, you can get, and then, shit, I'm pregnant. Yeah, you been create a whole bunch of fucking problems. Yeah,
so I'm not saying men should do that at all, because my stance is, hey, if you got a good bitch, stay, rock with your good bitch. Now, if you got a chick that's cool with that, letting you sneak out, okay, rock with that. You know what I'm saying? Because some women are like, hey, as long as he taking care of home, shit, I ain't tripping on that. So he can do what the hell he want. He the man of the house. He ain't, long as you don't bring me back nothing, or bring back no extra babies in the house, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but women. And let me add this on when you said that. Remember former Utah Jazz player Andreas Kirilenko?
Mm-hmm.
His wife gave him a hall pass.
Right.
Every year. And he ain't take up on it because, see, he's smart though. But he said, "Man, I ain't doing that." He just go shopping. Says, "I'm not doing that." Yeah. Yeah, I'll drink a couple of beers with the guys and eat, but I ain't. He said, "I'm not finna sleep on you." And I love what I got at home.
Yeah, which is smart. You know what I'm saying? But again, everybody's relationship is different. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Gabrielle Union need to sit her ass down and take care of her home. Need to get her house in order. You got your son walking around here with dresses, stepson with dresses and sashaying around here, and you know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. You cannot tell anybody anything. As far as Stephen Curry kids is concerned, their kids are on the right track. Regardless of how I feel about my criticism of Ayesha Curry and shit like that, those kids, as far as I know, as far as how they're raising them, they're on the right track. Mm-hmm. So she need to step off. She need to step off the stage and sit her big forehead ass down, her goddamn pineapple forehead ass down.
And I ain't got no. I'll be honest with you. I give it to Steph, man. Ayesha seemed like the woman that's gonna be in his corner regardless. But to let somebody, but to let somebody like Gabrielle Union try to influence her, talking about gonna tell her what she need to do. Ayesha should have stepped in and said, "I'm not." And that's why Ayesha should have told her, "I'm not gonna do that. I got three beautiful children by this man. He making his money in NBA. I'm trying to make my money with what I like to do, which is cook and whatever and whatnot, so forth. I'm not gonna do what you want me to do." And ladies, another thing, if Jimmy didn't mention already, don't ask. Let me put it like this. If your friends are single, don't ask them for dating advice. If your friends in a fucking unhappy marriage or relationship, don't you dare ask them for advice, because they're gonna lead you down a fucked up path and being a hoe. Straight up. Fellas, you too.
Same thing.
Same thing, fellas, you too.
Same thing.
And fellas, don't ask another man on advice about how to deal with a woman. If you want to know how to, fellas, if you want to know how to deal with a woman, you ask a woman. Ladies, if you need advice how to deal with a man.
I disagree with that. I have to disagree with you there. There are some men that you can take dating advice from, because of the thing about women is women are not truthful when it comes to giving you dating advice. Women are not very truthful. You need to get somebody that's in your corner that is going to you need to get with men that's in your corner that's going to give you great advice. You can tell when dudes are not trying to give you good game. Now, if every time you deal with a dude, their relationship is unsuccessful, you don't take that advice. Now, if you got to know a dude that has successful advice and even have good rapport with different women, that is the type of person you take dating advice from. But as far as taking advice from women in general gives bad dating advice. Granted,
Yes.
every once in a while you'll get a good sister, a good auntie that's gonna lace you with some game. But for the most part, you need to see guys that have success with women. Point blank period. You know what I'm saying? But I would not try to get with just any woman, because a lot of times, a lot of these women don't know what the fuck they want anyway. A lot of these women just don't know what the fuck they want anyway. So no, that's not the best person to get advice from either. You know what I'm saying? Like sisters, you can kind of give them some dating advice, but sometimes that can take years to figure out what you can apply and what you can't apply. But as far as getting advice from somebody, watch a guy that actually, sometimes it's good to watch the ladies' man, you know what I'm saying, per se, the man's man per se, to see how they do things. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody want to know how to deal with women, shit, come ask me. Shit, I'll give them some good ass advice. But it's just far as just going to women about advice, sometimes them motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they talking about either. Cause like some of my lady friends, you know what I'm saying, and they give good advice, but I would not take everything they say as far as dating somebody as a whole, because you know what I'm saying, a lot of them, like some of my lady friends, they be having some fucked up ass relationship issues, and it's perpetual fucked up issues. You know what I'm saying? So I have to find something that works for me and use that advice. And that's with anything. You know what I'm saying? You have to find something that works for you, because everything that works for me is not going to work for you. Everything that works for you is not going to work for me. You know what I'm saying? So I say find somebody that's successful at marriage, and find somebody that's successful with the ladies in general and how to deal with them. Take the good qualities and and learn lessons from the bad qualities. You know what I'm saying? So I had to stop you there. I was like, nah, because somebody might listen to this shit and be like, oh, that's not the best advice to go to. But continue, please.
Mm-hmm. No, but I'm gonna let you continue because you still got the wheel.
Yeah, I still got the wheel, but with the Gabrielle Union, with Gabrielle Union, man, Gabrielle need to go to hell. That's just what it is. She just need to go to hell. Gabrielle need to go to hell.
Gabrielle need to go to hell.
You need to go to hell with this shit. Like, bitch, you got bitter energy. That's an example of bitter. That's an example of bitter energy. And with I felt like she let that rape affect her giving advice to women. And women, here's the thing: if you're affected by something of that traumatic, because no woman, and I've said this once and I'll say this again, no woman should have to go through being violated and being violated the way that is. No woman, no girl, no child, no whatever should have to go through that traumatic experience, because that can affect the psychological origins of somebody. Like,
and it affects men too.
It can affect men too. That's true too. You know,
I've seen it happen, man. But I mean, because not mean to interject. You got some guys that the little boys being molested by all these fucking preachers, excuse me, all these damn preachers and shit, and or whatever. Hell, you got, and then you got some that be I'm gonna be honest. It ain't never happened to me. It has never happened to me. Because I knew how to fight. Somebody was trying to, was with if another man dared try to go that route with me, hey, I would fuck him up.
Oh yeah.
Even my young days, I would fuck him up.
Yeah.
But you got some put like this. You got some of them, and I ain't saying it's some in my family. I thank God it ain't. You got some of these damn sexually starved ass
dude.
Ain't no, not dude. I'm talking about as far as like guys being psychologically fucked up from molestation and rape and stuff. You got some of these, you got some of these psychologically starved ass aunties in the family, aunties and cousins and all that shit in the family and stuff like that. You know, motherfuckers like what? Motherfuckers like 24, 25 years old, female cousin 24, 25 years old, trying to come on and trying to get a 11-year-old dick hard, so you can get some dick or whatever. I mean, damn, you that desperate for some dick, goddamn, just call one of your male friends. Hey, I need you to bust some nut in me or something. You don't fuck with a family member, a little boy that's 10, 11 years old that don't know what it means to have a dick hard like that, don't know what the fuck going on. That fuck little boys up. As far as the women go, hey, you got as far as the ladies go, you got some sex. You really got some. I'm just gonna be honest. You got some fucked up ass dudes.
Because
it's some, and believe me, it's some fucked up ass dudes in either families. I know in mine for a fact that it wasn't nothing like that. Never. We didn't have not a one on my mom's side nor my dad's side, nor pop's side. But in other folks' families, you got some that just that just can't help it. Them old perverts and shit. They see the 15-year-old, being real right here. They see the 15, 16-year-old, tits be about as big as a fucking supermodel. They be developed like a fucking supermodel. Then next thing you know, 9 months later, well, not 9 months later, a month or so later. A month. I had to backtrack because I spoiled it. A month or so later, that same 16-year-old somebody in the family that fucking goddamn pregnant. That's rape. Really. In the bar quote from Trey Murphy, and because I'm trying to write my little comic storyline, the Sentinels. I'll talk about more about that later at a later time. The worst villains he said the worst villains don't have to be necessarily outside your family. They can be inside your family. They come the worst villains inside your family coming off form. Because they can be molested. That's some real and that's some real shit that Trey Murphy said.
And that explains one of the reasons why Salt and Peppers one of the members of Salt and Peppers had the problems that she had, because we was off air talking about her. She was raped as a child. I think she was raped by one of her uncles or dads, some shit like that. She was raped as a child, and that affected her. That affected her how she dealt with men and shit like that. That truly affected her. But we'll get into that at another time. But you talked about the men that had been molested. Because your famous pimp, Chicago pimp, Iceberg Slim. He was molested as a child. He had
he came out of music.
Yeah, Iceberg Slim was molested as a child. Pimpin' Ken was molested as a child. I mean, Richard Pryor, unfortunately, which is explained a lot of his.
He grew up in a brothel.
And which explained why he turned out to be, once he turned. Which is why he turned out to be bisexual, unfortunately. A lot of people may be like, hurt by this and shit like that. But no, it's this document. He made jokes about having sex with transsexuals. You know what I'm saying? But
and I'll be honest with you. Richard Pryor grew up in a brothel, basically a whole house, basically surrounded by hoes. And he came out and he used that pain from his childhood to be successful. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, some things I would have rather not found out, but hell, he's a fucking Sagittarius. He keeps it real. You know what I'm saying? But it was just that explained why he was married so many different times, and you know what I'm saying, had so many problems, and that explained a lot of his drug abuse. That contributed to a lot of his either basin per se. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, that could, when a person is being molested or raped, that can affect them, down the road. But but with that being said, as a grown person, you need, go get you some talk to a psychologist. You know what I'm saying? Get you some help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. People think social media is, they use social media as their as their psychologist. No, nobody don't want to, nobody wants to know all your goddamn business on social media. Go get you some help. Like, go get your ass some help. Go talk to a psychologist and get you a psychological evaluation. Go talk to somebody. Have somebody you really need. You can tell your business to, and and because those psychologists have confidentiality agreements. They can't speak anything out unless less done by arbitrator or court appointed or judge. They can't do that. So go get you some fucking help. You know what I'm saying? That's what Gary.
And then your jobs. I mean, I'm admit, I ain't gonna talk about it on air or off air. I may have to see a psychologist.
Nigga, stop. You don't, nigga. No, you don't, nigga. Stop, nigga.
That was bullshit. But I was bullshitting. But to be in all fairness, though, I mean, if you work at a job that provides these services, man, take advantage of it. That's part of your insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health. Mm-hmm. Talk to a psychiatrist. I mean, hell, I know in the past I talked to an anger management specialist because, man, I was so angry with Craig, with Smith, with Craig Sr. at one point, man. Damn. And then finding out something, after I told you on news about, after I told you the good news my mom's got, right?
You told me, but continue, please.
Yeah. After reading something detailed about how this all broke down, it really, man, it really struck up a whole anger with me again about it was something that he said about me when he talked to a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was like, point blank, I was like, man, fuck this dude,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and admit it. He said on one of the reports, and I threw that motherfucker away because moms didn't need to keep it and didn't need to hear it anymore.
Right.
Okay. With him suffering from his PTSD, he admitted to a psychiatrist that he said that he had thoughts of killing his own son.
Okay.
And the psychiatrist thought he was bullshit. He was like, no, I'm serious. She was like, well, was it the voice in your head that was telling you and everything like that? He said, no. He said, it was all me. She was like, well, why? He said, and it was stating, he said, I'm tired of it. He said, I was just tired of him. I had my reasons. I'm like, wow. Motherfucker. So I was gonna say it live on here. He's not hit, I know he's buried. He's buried at the Veteran Cemetery here in Memphis. Was that out there in Colleyville, the Veteran Cemetery?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a minute till I go out there and visit him. Because that angered the shit out of me, man. I'm like, wow.
Well, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
I was angry about that, man. I'm like, damn.
That's unfortunate.
It was unfortunate, but I mean, like someone told me, there's a saying, a dead man can't tell no tales, but they can reveal a whole lot of secrets. And that was a secret that I didn't know. I was like, wow. And I can admit it, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
There were instances where I knew, and I was gonna be honest about my pops, man. I'm just gonna leave you alone after this. He was jealous of me because I was able to do things and accomplish some things that he couldn't do in his younger life. That's a typical street nigga. You know, street nigga, they don't want you to, they don't want you to see it on your own. They'll pull you back in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was. And that's what he was jealous about, because I succeeded on my own. I succeeded in ways where he couldn't. You know, like he had opportunity to go to college. He had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things, but he didn't. So,
Yeah.
More than that, man.
You know, you took the wheel on the Gabrielle Union situation. Yeah, she wrong about that shit.
Yeah.
She ain't, like I said, she ain't in no position to be giving folks no advice about a lot of things.
Absolutely not. She's not in a position because she's unhappy with herself, and she's making people unhappy around her.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie D said it best about this whole situation with them shashaying their damn kid around as a tranny fanny, basically. And, you know, I have a problem with D Wade. You know what I'm saying? As a basketball player, cool guy. You know what I'm saying? As a father, Negro, you lost your motherfucking mind. First of all,
no, he don't deserve to be called a father.
You don't exactly. Now, I thank you. Now I'll give you. That sounds even better. That sounds even better. A so-called father. Your father, as a father, you're supposed to give your son guidance. Mm-hmm. Now, if your son decides to become gay or become a tranny fanny and all that other good shit, okay, that's his fucking decision. That's his decision at that point. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you're encouraging him. You're putting this on because seems like somebody paid this man off to make this kid, and then there's rumors that their nanny, one of their nannies, a male nanny, was gay. This is documented. This ain't. You can look this up right now. They have that the white guy that his kid has been seen with through old pictures. He's gay. Mm-hmm. The guy's gay. This is known fact. So it's possible D-Way's son has possibly been molested. It's very well possible. Mm-hmm. But the thing about this, all through this, again, when you're grown, you make the decision. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do is your decision as a grown man. But when you're encouraging a kid to become a tranny fanny, my issue with this whole ordeal is that kid might change his mind at 16, 17, 18 years old. Because kids sometimes, okay, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer. I want to be this. Kids always talking about what they want to grow up to be. But sometimes we might be like, okay, college may cost too much. This may cost me too much. Going to trade school may cost me too much. So I have to be in the real world. And this is why people should not encourage their kids to do the things they do. If that kid chooses as at the age of 18, 21, 25, that's a whole different story. Here's why I'm so far against it. And Willie D said a little bit of the same thing I said, but not probably verbatim. Because 5 years from now, he's not going to be thinking the same thing. He might still be sashaying around with the dresses on and all that. But 5 years from now, that kid is not going to be the same. Another 5 years from those 5 years, he's not going to be the same. Another 5 years from those 5 years, he's not going to be the same. Every 5 years, every 2 to 5 years, as a grown person, you change and mentally change. It just is what it is. As you're 20 in your 20s, you're full of life. Yep. You're full of life in your 20s. At 25, you're trying to take life serious. but you might want to be more cautious about what you do. But you're still motivated, full of life, full of spurt, young, full of cum, and all that other good shit. 30 years old, okay. I wouldn't even say that because at 25, I wasn't on it. I wasn't dumb. You couldn't even consider me dumb at 25. So I have to, fuck no. I wasn't.
No, I'm just saying that'd be the old adage.
That's the old adage. Okay.
But hey, I'll be like this. You couldn't tell my ass that when I was 20, couldn't tell my ass that when I was 19, time else. You just young, dumb, full of cum. I had old dude tell me about that. I'm like, okay, I'm young and I'm full of cum, but dumb, I'm not. That why you walk around with 7 kids by 4 different women. So who dumb?
Exactly. I told the motherfucker that
I was 19 years old being savage as an old nigga,
Nigga told me that when I was 22, 23, and I told him, nigga, you dumb. You dumb for getting a damn divorce. I clap back, nigga, you dumb for getting a divorce, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at 25, you're motivated, but you're taking life a little bit more serious than you is before 25. At 30, if you ain't got your shit together or already accomplished the way you need to be, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. At 35, if you ain't accomplished what you needed to accomplish at 25, 30, now it's time to get down to it.
Mm-hmm.
At 40, that's when everything that you have, everything that you've done up to that point is either going to turn into it's going to turn into a habit. Everything you do at 40 and beyond is going, everything you do, rather if you can save money at 35, you're going to be able to save it at 40 and above. If you couldn't do that before, guess what? Everything you do at that point becomes a habit. You know what I'm saying? Now, every 5 years, you're still going to make certain changes, but it's going to be a habit, perpetual habit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For the most part. So every 5 years, from the time a kid turns, hell, by the time he turns 10 to 15, everything, his habits going to start to change.
Mm-hmm.
Habits start to change every 5 years for humans. Sometimes 2 to 5 years, sometimes 3 to 5 years. But naturally, you better believe, best to believe, your habits are going to naturally change. It's just what it is. So my problem with D Wade and Gabrielle, Crappy Hale, up here, making this turn, convincing this kid to be a tranny fanny is this kid may change his mind. The same thing Willie D said. This kid may change his mind. He might be like, hey, I really like girls. I'm not gay. I love women. What you gonna do then? You gonna still support him at this point, or you gonna still encourage him to be a tranny fanny? So those are things we got to think about and stop putting personal business out there like that. And Willie D said it best. If you don't want nobody criticizing you for your parenting and bad issues, do not put it out in the fucking public because it's going to be subject to criticism. Why you think I don't talk about my family history the way I talk about it? Why you think I don't, get into my family history the way I get into it? Because it's going to be subject to criticism. If I, what I'm saying, whatever I do, regardless of if it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's going to be subject to criticism. Everything you do as a parent is going to be subject to criticism.
And that's like, it's like what I said about like with my pops. Okay, God rest his soul. He never did what he was told to do. Okay, like when I said about my moms and I, we discussed that yesterday. She didn't want to, like I said, she didn't want to involve herself. She didn't want to be involved, be introduced to some of the people he worked with. He did anyway. Now there was like 5 individuals that she liked, 6 individuals that she liked. She said all the others, she said herself, she don't give a fuck about. She didn't want to be involved with that shit. But what I was mad with my pops about was, dude, you going around telling everybody all my business about what I do at home and what I got going for myself, like you got a problem with it. Like I had an issue with him one time. The man went back and told some folks he worked with that I had bought me a one time it was like, well, I think I don't know what it was something I ordered. I bought me a Nike jogging outfit and a pair of Air Max. And he had a problem with that. I'm like, and then when that's one call we're talking about some nigga, you live with your parents, you fucking around buying $200 jogging suits and $100 Air Max. Like, the fuck? The fuck you talking about? Yeah, your dad told us about what you bought. I'm like, that wasn't on your business, you know. My business, what I do at home, ain't supposed to be your fucking business, you know. But like I said, I never get into detail with my family either. But Pops decided to put everything about my business, my mom's business out there in the public like that. And I'm the kind of dude, I don't need to be criticized. I feel like this here. The only way a person need to be criticizing you is if they've been in your shoes on some thing. If you ain't been in a person's shoes, you ain't got no fucking room to criticize somebody.
I agree.
That's how I feel, you know. But
yeah.
But like Willie D had a good point, and then really, you ain't got no choice but to fault. Really, you really got to fault Dwayne Wade. Hell, he's supposed to be the man of the fucking house.
Yeah. And like I say, you gonna be subject to criticism if everything you do in that house, everything you do in the public, even in social media, you'll be surprised how people put their business out in social media. But that's their business. But don't get mad when you talk about, well, I saw a post, and I'm at the point now on social media. If I see 3 or more dumbass posts, I'm doing a 3-strike method. Okay, this person might have been having a bad day, but if you continuously put dumbass posts, it was one time somebody I know, it's a real close person that I know. You know, I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting it out there. It was this person I grew up with in my neighborhood. She was talking about her baby daddy did not want to come see his son because he had a GD meeting. Think about that for a second. Just think about it. Don't make a comment just yet. Think about that.
A gangster disciple meeting?
Exactly. Gangster disciple meeting. Because he can't come see his son because he had a gangster disciple meeting. Now, let me get on problem number 1, which is the woman, which is this motherfucker picking a motherfucker. And she's over 25 years old, by the way. She's got a baby daddy that want to call himself a gangster disciple. It either sounds like
hold on.
Go ahead.
Somebody's knocking my mom's door. Give me a sec.
Okay, no problem. I'm finna leave out just real. Give me it for a minute. Hold on.
Yeah. All right, man. My bad, bro. All right, I'm back.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give problem number 1 because I'm always of the thing. Before a man can get into a relationship, woman gotta at the end of the day choose whether or not his selection is valid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like when a rookie gets drafted in the NBA. The rookie has 90 days to sign his contract with the NBA. And legally, he can be like, okay, I want to get traded, and by legalities reason, he has a right to demand a trade, and we've seen it happen in the draft all the time. You know, Peyton Manning didn't want to go to the San Diego Chargers. I mean, Eli Manning didn't want to go to the San Diego Chargers, so what ended up happening was Phillip Rivers ended up getting drafted to the San Diego Chargers. He ended up going to the New York Giants, and the rest of history. Legally speaking, he doesn't have to play for that fucking team if they draft him. That's just what the legalities are. You know what I'm saying? And he has 90 days to decide whether or not he signs that contract. So just because the team picks you does not mean you got to play for that motherfucker. And that goes for the woman. The woman makes the decision whether or not you become her head, her boo, your ride or die, whatever the fuck you women call niggas. If you over the age of 25 getting with a nigga that care more about his GD, BD, Crip, Blood, DL, P Stone Rangers, whatever. Yeah, whatever the fuck you call that shit. If you're over the age of 25, still dating niggas that care more about his gang banging meetings than his own son, bitch, you at the goddamn fault. Bitch, you at fault. I'm not even finna get on that nigga because you knew this nigga was immature way before you let that nigga stuck his PP inside your female genitalia. Before he stuck his PP inside your female genitalia and had and conceived a baby. You're at fault for that. And you wondering why he ain't gonna try to see his son, or he gonna pick his GD meeting over a son. Bitch, you stupid. He ain't stupid. He's just what you saw.
Matter of fact, no, he was what he is what he is.
He is what he is. I don't fault him. Yes, he should be more mature. Yes, he needs to be a man and he needs to step up. I'm not dismissing his responsibility at all. Yes, and if he ever comes across this, yes, nigga, you need to stop being a dusty nigga and be a dad. I would tell that to your face. Hook or crook or whatever it takes. Whatever happens. I'm not dismissing responsibility, but you're more responsible because you make the final decision of whether or not he gets inside your coochie. So, because again, if he tries to have sex with you by force, guess what? It's rape. It's sexual assault. It's against the law at that point. But if you willingly gave him some pussy, if you willingly gave this nigga some pussy and he picking the GD meeting over his son, bitch, you at fault at that point. You got all these men out here who don't have kids, who looking for a great woman, and all of a sudden you get niggas who care more about a gangster disciple meeting than his goddamn son. I don't blame him at all because a man is only gonna stick his dick in a female that who going to allow him to stick his dick in. Man, anything else? Go ahead.
Yep, and I got a story to share on that before we move on to David Black topic. I'm not gonna say their name, but I got a family member. Okay, their son's gonna be 16 this year. Okay, and in fact, Jimmy, I've been sending y'all highlights of them in the sport chat group. Okay, I'm not gonna say no name, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay. When they got with his father, I don't know what it was. I guess they were coerced into being with her or being with him and whatever stuff like that. They end up getting pregnant by him and stuff and shit. And then you want to know what the fucked up part about it? After they got pregnant by him, he end up impregnating somebody else. And like I said, that the son was son was born, like I said, he born sometime, he born this month, because his birthday's next week. And then several days later, he had a little brother that was born around about the time too. So
but and here was the thing. I ain't saying no names about it or nothing. You know, I was talking to about. I'm like, okay, you know he a hoe. Why you still with him? I mean, they living together and stuff. They had a place together and call themselves living together and stuff like that. Then he tried to marry her. You know, I'm gonna say he tried to marry my cousin. You know, all the while he was fucking around on her behind her back.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's the old adage of Papa was, the old Temptation song. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he lay his hat was his home. But in his case, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he put his shoes at was his house. You know, and I know one time that man had, all of a sudden he had the which I don't let anybody step up to me about when it comes to family, and outside of stepping up to me about family. He had nerve to tell me, man, I don't need you cause like I was trying to, like I had a Honda Accord one time and I had some white wall tires. I don't know what size they were. And I was trying to find out, if he knew anybody that needed some, cause or whatever. So she was like, "Don't nobody buy the tires no more." I'm like, "Man, I ain't asked you that. I'm trying to get rid of them." I said, "Shit, the car down." I said, "I'm trying to get these are tires I bought a year ago. This is back when I got a service to go." So don't nobody, so she was like, "Don't nobody buy no, I think they were 14s or something like that. Don't nobody buy those no more." And I was like, "Well, look, you never know." So she was speaking all for him and shit. I guess she was trying to play wife or some shit like that. I didn't know what her issue was me then. But then the nigga called me back. I'm talking about some, "Hey, I appreciate you don't call my girl's number." I said, "Well, first of all, your girl happened to be my cousin, so she's family. So I don't appreciate you telling me what I need to do with family, nigga. That's one." And so then he got to say something and he hung up. I said, "Okay, whatever." But the moral of the story is they broke up. He's married now, and it made some children. He married an old schoolmate of mine, and from what I last found out, from his I guess to say his from one of his ex-sister-in-laws, I guess, he was still fucking around. Was fucking around off on her sister. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I don't know how true it is, but look, the moral of the story is, man, look, it's like what Jimmy said. I mean, we've had some experience. Ladies, hell, we gonna be talking about it. Be careful you spread your legs open for. Because if you want to end up being in a case like what my cousin was back in the past, that's why I say I ain't saying no names. Or in Jimmy's case, about the mutual acquaintance that he knows, because of a meeting. A meeting was more important than spending time with the child or whatever like that. You know what? You deserve to get that fuck treatment. I'm just being honest. You deserve it. You fucking deserve it. But I asked my cousin later on, I'm like, "Man, what did you see in that dude?" And she admitted, she said, "I wish I had to listen to you." Now she said, "Craig, I wish I had to listen to you." Because I knew from the beginning the way that man shook my hand. And he wasn't respectful shaking my hand. Because what did I say what Phil Jackson made Dennis Rodman do? Take his sunglasses off, his hat off, stand up and shake his hand like a man, right? Man, he didn't want to shake my hand. He was more focused on holding his son. I'm like, he gonna give me a handshake. Like I'm talking about the limpest handshake there ever was. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see how this is going,
Yes, sir.
So, oh, and by the way, he called himself trying to be an ordained minister.
Talking about Dennis Rodman there?
No.
Oh, your player buddy. Oh, I'm about to say, I'm like, what the hell, this nigga? Oh my goodness. Oh my nigga. You need to be blocked.
My cousin's ex.
Oh man.
That's why I'm rolling my eyes saying that shit.
Hey, whoever this Negro is, you ain't got to put him on blast and unlike this. People, do not go to this nigga church, man. He just gonna pimp you out your money, man. Don't even go. Don't go to this nigga.
He ain't no. We'll put it like this. He part of a ministry, but he ain't pastoring. You know.
He should never even get that title, man. He should never get that title.
I'm saying. Rolling Stone and ass.
I am not a fan. I'm not even. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Let's get to the David Blatt topic, man. Oh, my goodness. So, you know more about it than I do. So, fill us in on the David Blatt topics.
Well, David Blatt recently, and you know, a lot of folks kind of been using this Michael Jordan documentary as to come clean about some shit.
Yeah.
David Blatt said something about Michael Jordan did not focus on I, but on us. So I guess that was a shot at LeBron. So it said I'm reading this article here on the USA Today. Said the aftermath of last Sunday's airing of episodes 3 and 4 of The Last Dance revealed that there are a lot of feelings that don't go away with time, such as Michael Jordan's resentful feelings toward the Pistons. And it appears that someone from the LeBron James universe hasn't gotten over their own problems in the past when it comes to LeBron. Former Cleveland Cavaliers head coach and highly decorated European coach David Blatt appeared to call out LeBron James as selfish compared to Michael Jordan, after also suggesting that Jordan is bigger than LeBron, which is true, which in terms of shoe sales is difficult to argue. During an after show on Israeli television following The Last Dance, David Blatt was said, and quote, Michael Jordan is bigger than LeBron James. He pointed out on Sunday, comment on latest episodes made available. He won the most championships with one single team and did not focus on the I, but on the us. But surely in terms of ability and influence, they are both included in the top 5 players in history. While Blatt is far along in the sentiment that Jordan had a bigger impact than that James, that Jordan had a bigger impact than James, the gratuitous mention of focusing on the I and us shows he still has a lot of lingering resentment about his short tenure with the Cavaliers that ultimately ended months before they won their first NBA championship. Jimmy McBride, what are your thoughts on that?
He's telling the truth. I'll say David Blatt is telling the truth. Here's why he's telling the truth. Because this documentary right now is exposing, because a lot of people say Michael Jordan is selfish. Michael Jordan.
Bullshit.
That's bullshit. Michael Jordan was not only the greatest player in history, hands down. This is my opinion, and this is most of the NBA's opinion. Now, you could argue Bill Russell, but Ticket TV kind of debunked that out of the water. But you could argue that because Bill Russell does have 11 championships. So if you're basing it off championships, that is very disputable. Other than that, Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, period. Here's why. Number one, he led by example. Even though he scored 30 points a game, he always, throughout his NBA career, he averaged at least 5 assists a game. At least 5 assists a game. You know what I'm saying? Throughout his NBA career. Number two, he was always focused. Number three, he always tried to make his teammates better, whether he passed the ball to him to make the big shot or in practice. As you see in this documentary, Michael Jordan is an asshole in practice. He was a whole asshole. He got on your ass. He made you become a better player than what you are.
And he admitted to being an asshole.
Yeah, he's an Aquarius. So, of course, Aquarius are wishy-washy people again. But at the same time, guess what? They're great friends. You know what I'm saying? When I say wishy-washy, Aquarius, they need time to themselves because they're an air sign, and air signs are aloof people by nature. You know, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, those are the air signs. So quite naturally, they need
Aquarius
some time. Aquarius a water bearer, but it's an air sign because they're bearing the water. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's who they're compatible with. So, you know, in Michael Jordan's case, there's times where they need to be off to themselves, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Michael always wanted his teammates to be better than what they were every game. Okay, we didn't bang the boards this game. We got to bang the boards in this game. From 1985 to the few times that he retired to where he came back to the day he retired, he always wanted his teammates to be better than what they were. That's just what it is. You know, he made Bill Cartwright a better role player. He made Dennis Rodman a better role player. You know what I'm saying? Or at least good enough to keep the Bulls in the championship. He made Scottie Pippen a better player. Again, Scottie Pippen for 3 years had to defend Michael Jordan. He had to defend Michael Jordan practice and then after practice. You know what I'm saying? Because he said that, hey, I'm going to make sure this nigga going to be the best teammate in history. He might not, you know, surpass me as the greatest player on this team, but he going to be the best teammate I ever had, and that's what it was. Scottie Pippen made key plays, you know what I'm saying, defensively. You know, held Magic Johnson, made Magic Johnson work for what he needed to work on. You know what I'm saying? So it was that. Michael Jordan always contribute to teammates being better than what they were. He made Horace Grant a better player. He made all his teammates a better player. So yes, that is hands down a better. He's hands down a better teammate because he led by example and he pushed his teammates. And yeah, people was upset. People got mad at Michael Jordan wanted to fight him and every goddamn thing. It's, you know, punch Steve Kerr in the face. It was fights in practice. They probably ain't gonna show all that. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna show all that, but it was fight in practice. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Michael Jordan was a better teammate than LeBron. Even Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Jellybean Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Like him or love him. Yes, he had his faults, but he was the same way. Michael Jordan told him, if you want your teammates to get better, lead by example and get on their ass in practice. That's what he told him. You know what I'm saying? Because Kobe Bryant called Michael Jordan at 3:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And it used to piss Michael Jordan off. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, I get it. I know this kid is trying. He taking my moves and he want to be the best Kobe Bryant he can. So I'm going to give him some game. And that's what he told Kobe Bryant. And guess what? He told Kobe Bryant to do that. And Kobe Bryant got 5 championships. Would have had 6, 7, 9, 10. Probably would have been called the greatest player of all time had, number one, Shaq had better work ethic and Shaq and Kobe didn't have the beef that they had. You know what I'm saying? So you could attribute it to a number of different things. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to put it all on Shaq and I ain't going to put it all on Kobe Bryant from the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Then that bullshit Chris Paul trade that David Stern vetoed, that was another factor. He could have won more championships than Jordan easily. You know what I'm saying? But hands down, Michael Jordan was a way better teammate than LeBron James. Yes, statistically speaking, when you put rebounds and triple doubles and stuff like that, yeah, anybody can pass the ball to their teammate and get a point. But what are you doing to motivate your teammates to stop the other team? What are you doing to motivate your other teammates to get that rebound? Did you know Dennis Rodman averaged less than 1 steal and 1 block a game?
Yep.
Did you know that? However,
I knew, yeah.
Tim Barr. No, correction. Coach Tim Barr. I'm shouting you out, baby. I'm shouting you out, Coach Barr. You know what I'm saying? Keep on representing Memphis, Tennessee, baby. Coach Tim Barr from the BTW team of 2001. He said it best. Quote, he said, just because you blocking shots does not mean you're doing something in the game. He basically said that stats are deceptive. He was like, rebounding is a part of defense. Quote, Coach Tim Barr said this. And yes, rebounding is a part of defense. Because it's just like, you have to get the rebound. And that was an important part of Dennis Rodman game. Dennis Rodman didn't have to have, what happened? Where my boy at? Where you at, boy? Where you? I think somebody must have called you or something.
No, I messed around and hit the home button on my phone, but continue.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman did not have wasn't the biggest shot blocker. He wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? Because Dennis Rodman was more like a Willis Reed on defense. Willis Reed was not a shot blocker, but he forced Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar into some of their worstest game in history. But rebounding is a form of defense, and it's a part of defense. You know what I'm saying? And stats was misleading. But what people don't see is how many charges Dennis Rodman made, how many saves Dennis Rodman made to you know what I'm saying, how many floor burns that Dennis Rodman done. So those stats are very misleading. He had averaged less than one block, one steal. But whatever steal he got, whatever block he got, it was key. Whatever missed shot that is a tribute to Dennis Rodman, that's key.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is when it comes to Dennis Rodman, and that's what made Michael Jordan the greatest of all time. Because he was the greatest teammate of all time. It was times where Phil Jackson was not a yelling person as a coach. A lot of people don't know that. He was probably one of the calmest coaches in history, but he had Michael Jordan doing all the yelling, and that's what made him relax. He had Kobe Bryant doing all the yelling. And Phil Jackson would just sit there. Okay. He made his teammates better. And Phil Jackson is so great of a coach. Before Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying, became receptive to the motion offense, Phil Jackson told Michael Jordan, once you get acclimated to this offense, I'm not expecting you to get acclimated to it overnight. I know you're not going to agree with it, but he told him, he was like, I'm not worried about you scoring. You keep on scoring your 30 points. I'm worried about the other teammates. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about you. So keep doing what you're doing, but pass the ball a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, he was a 5-point. He had at least 5 assists a game. So, but Phil told him, he was like, keep doing what you're doing, but pass the ball just a little more. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about everybody else. And when he finally became receptive to the motion offense, they gave Detroit all the hell in 1990. Damn near beat Detroit. Had flagrant foul was instituted in 1990, I think they would have got over that hump. But the fact that they waited a year to institute flagrant fouls, it was on the books, but they never enforced it. It didn't get enforced until 1990, 1991, when David Stern was like, okay, Detroit, y'all gonna have to quit doing this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, Michael Jordan is not only the greatest player of all time, but he's the greatest teammate of all time. And there's no denying that. I like LeBron. Let's not get it twisted, guys. I love LeBron. Contrary to what you LeBron nut huggers and dick riders, you know what I'm saying? I like LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. I can be a LeBron fan and a Michael Jordan fan. But you ain't finna tell me that LeBron is better than Bill Russell, better than Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson,
better than Magic Johnson,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You going on with that shit?
Yeah, you going on with that shit. And you lucky I put him over Bird. You lucky I did that. And I shouldn't even did that. In all honesty, if I put
you didn't have no business put. Wait a minute, you didn't have no business put LeBron over Bird. I got on you about that.
But
like,
I have
what the hell?
But it's my top 10. It's not the top 10. It's my top 10. So
and that's why I'm like, wait a minute, LeBron over Bird, really?
My top 10. But it's my top 10. I didn't say he was. I just said it's my top 10. It's my opinion. And just like I told this LeBron nut hugger, it's my top 10. So accept it. If either accept it or accept it. It's accepted.
But you saw my list, right? And you saw what I put on there. My partner Mario shout out to me. He said, damn, you put LeBron honorable mention. I said, hell, he barely got that.
But again, with that being said, it could be argued at least 15 players are better than LeBron James. He's not better than Shaq, not better than Wilt. He's not better than Tim Duncan. Let's not even talk about that, because Tim Duncan made a contribution to team, and he damn near went 6-0 in the NBA Finals, just like Michael Jordan. So contribution to team. I made the top 10 list because of contribution to team. That's the reason why I got the top 10 shot blockers, top 10 rebounders, because I want to give every other person props on what they do in the NBA. I'm gonna get another top 10 list as well. But at the same time, when I say call people the greatest, I look at contribution to team. When you have contribution to team, okay, Larry Bird may be a little bit off on there. And the reason why I put LeBron over Larry Bird is mainly because LeBron is a better defensive player than Larry Bird. Larry Bird's defense, he's good on help defense, but if I ask him to shut somebody down, they're going to score like 30 points before he makes a defensive play. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let's, do the research. But I want to say that to say this before I put the mic back over to you. Any of you LeBron James fan, I'm telling you right now, I'm a LeBron James fan. But I'll be a damn fool if I put him over, MJ, Russell, Kobe, Kareem, Magic Johnson, Shaq, Wilt. I'm not putting him or even Tim Duncan. But if you got a problem with me in my top 10 list, you got the floor right now. We can go get we can debate about this on Facebook, Hulu, whatever the fuck we can debate this on. I've called 3 people out already because of that top 10 list. And they got real shaky when I said, let's do a live stream, baby. And I did a live stream just to show you I got a set of nuts to come. So if you want to talk about my goddamn top 10 list, which is my top 10 list, nigga, come on, get with it. We get into that line then, in the words of Ticket TV. Get into that lines then. We can get into that lines then. We can talk about basketball. One motherfucker had said, I don't know shit about basketball. And that's the reason why I did that live stream on Facebook. I don't know shit about basketball. So I did a live stream for about a whole hour. This motherfucking capping ass nigga didn't even come on the goddamn live stream like a little bitch. And this goes for anybody who want to debate me. The floor is yours. I'm gonna give you a fair chance to say what you need to say, but I'm gonna give you that either base like Ticket TV be giving people lately. And shout out to Ticket TV for educating these clowns about Michael Jeffrey Jordan, man.
Thank you.
Shout out.
I haven't heard, but I've been seeing the clips of Ticket TV and stuff like that, and I'll admit sometimes he take long to get to the point because he spend about 5 to 10 minutes advertising himself, talking about shout out, donate, and all this and that. I'm like this here, get to the point. But I was reading like some of the comments on everything. Yeah, he was capping a lot of motherfuckers too.
I think he gives people like lately he ain't been advertising as much as he have, especially with the live streams. But one of the reasons why he give them a minute so them people can make a valid argument. So that's a good thing to give people an opportunity to say what they need to say. But the problem is these guys been coming with weak arguments. I wished I had a debate with him during the Bill Russell, because I was in the comment section. Hey, I could debate this right here because you could argue Bill Russell is just as good as Michael Jordan on that list. Because believe it or not, here's our indisputable facts. Bill Russell could have won 10 straight NBA titles, and he damn near won 12 NBA titles. Yep. He was 11 points away from winning the NBA championship against the St. Louis Hawks. He was 11 points.
Bill Russell won. He won 8 as a player and 4 as a coach.
4 as a coach. He was 8, player coach, to be exact. But he was 11 points away from going 12-0 in the NBA Finals. And Bill Russell has had 4 of the greatest NBA Finals games in history. He had 32 points and 40 rebounds, 35 points and 42 rebounds. Still NBA Finals records. He had 4 of the biggest top 10 biggest rebounding games in history. You know what I'm saying? So he's had game clinching situations or game clinching performances. So we can't use the argument he wasn't a scorer. He wasn't a scorer in a general sense because he only averaged 15 points a game, 44% from the field goal percentage. Okay, that's a good argument right there. But you're talking about a guy who damn near went 12-0, and that's because he was injured versus the St. Louis Hawks. In one of those games, he did not play which would have made which probably would have made a difference in the NBA Finals. And in Game 6 was the game deciding game versus the St. Louis Hawks, which the St. Louis Hawks won by 3. He was injured in that game. You know what I'm saying? So that could be argued easily. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Michael Jordan is 6-0. I respect that 6-0. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit up here and debate about whether Michael is greater than Russell, but I can debate it. I can debate it easily because I do my research on things. I'm a historian. I'm a historian in basketball, and I'm a historian in other historical matters. So I can debate that, and I wanted to debate that. You know what I'm saying? But it would have been a respectable debate because I know my shit. But the guys that was coming on there, they didn't know they shit. And that's why it's important to do your research on things before you get into the lion's den. And I say the same thing to anybody who has a problem with what I say about LeBron. In the words of Asa Tony, my boy who won the first state title for the St. George Griffins, LeBrick James. You know what I'm saying? When he fucking up, I call him LeBrick when he fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets
hold up. Shout out to my friend Tamisha Garland down there in Florida. She used to live here in Memphis. She calls LeBron the same thing, LeBrick. And even made the most historical quote. Don't have your brain to program the program LeBron's name to come off your tongue as being the GOAT.
No.
Name LeBron should not be programmed. It should be in the back of your tongue so it can go down so you can swallow it instead of being at the tip of your tongue for you to say it. But I'm gonna go ahead and interject. I apologize. I agree with David Black, man. I mean, and let's face it. We knew that LeBron had a hand in getting this man fired. He didn't show any respect for David Griffin. Okay, his first year he coached Cleveland to the NBA Finals, and granted, LeBron had basically a B and C list team. He carried to the fucking final. But even if they had Kevin Love, a healthy Kevin Love, and a healthy Kyrie Irving, it wasn't gonna be no way in hell they were gonna beat Golden State that year. No way in hell. Let's just be real. And didn't have no business beating them the final. And then David Black coached them to the best record in the East before he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
And then David Griffin came out with it, and later on he came out with so many hits. And said that LeBron had a hand in it. He said, "Hey, this decision didn't come from me. This came from above me about firing David Black." So so we already knew LeBron and because what's his name, Dan Gilbert, who still recovering from a stroke. They were talking, but I agree with David. Jordan was more about the us than the eyes. Okay, when Kyrie Irving stepped up and was clutch in that game 7 that won them the NBA championship, LeBron was talking about what? I led them to the championship. No, goddamn it. Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning shot, made the clutch ass steal to seal the deal for your ass, to make your ass look good.
But I'll say this. That clutch shot could be attributed to the block shot that he made on Iguodala. I'll give him credit for making the key block because both teams were in a drought, a 2-minute drought in that game. So I will give him credit for making the play to stop Iguodala because at that point when your team is in a drought and you're able to get points in that situation, the momentum would have swung to Golden State, being that they're the home team. So I give them credit for making that key block in that situation. But again, like you said, Kyrie Irving had to make that shot. If he didn't make that shot, we don't know what would have happened at that point. In making that steal, we don't know what would have happened in that situation at that point. You know what I'm saying?
But I'll tell you what would have happened. LeBron would have been, the so-called greatest of all time would have been 2-7 in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
But also somebody pointed out on a post I made, Jerry West was 1-8.
But look who he was going up against. He was going up against the goddamn Boston Celtics. He was going up against the Celtics. The Celtics was probably the greatest team, arguably the greatest team of all time. You know what I'm saying? You had like 7 different guys averaging in double figures a game. You know what I'm saying? So they were the better team. And Jerry West only had Elgin Baylor, Gail Goodrich, and a couple of other people, but they did not have a loaded roster like the Boston Celtics. So yes, Jerry West is 1-8, but that doesn't make him any less of a legend. Like if LeBron never won a championship, based off the statistical things that he have, he's still going to be a legend. He's just going to be known as a legend with no championships. But he got over the championship hump. But the thing is, you cannot say this dude is the GOAT. And I'll debate anybody. I don't give a damn if you played basketball, if you played in the NBA for 20 years, if you played in Europe for 40 years. I don't give a damn who you are. I will go on this live right now and debate your ass about that shit. And we can be respectful about it. I'm gonna talk my shit to you, but we if you think your capping ass think you can come to the Lions Den, welcome to it, man. I will debunk anything you can throw at me. Period. Point blank and period. You know what I'm saying? I know you gotta go. It's right at 4:00.
No, you good. I got no time. But hey, I'm the same way. I may not have. I'm gonna be honest with everybody here at the public. I ain't never played high school organized basketball, but I do know how to play basketball. I ain't never played high school organized football. Thank God I didn't for the school I went to. But I know more football than some of the past players at Southside do. I know the difference, and like I tell people, even some of these so-called female fans that say that they know football game. Y'all ass don't know the difference. What the difference between a post route and the post office is, and that's true. I know what a dig route is. I know what a hitch route. I know what a go route. I know what a screen route. I know what a post route is. I know what a corner, a go, a slant, a flat. I basically just named off 9 routes of the 9 routes, passing routes in the route tree that your boy Dez Bryant just refused to learn because he only does 3 of them. But in hell, and I'll be honest, I don't mean to take a dig some of the past players at Southside. The quarterback we had, really, in the offense we ran. Oh God! Need I continue?
Man, Southside was getting blowed out by 100 points against teams up in this motherfucker.
That's why I said, need I continue?
Man, what? I mean, Jason Harris and Ken Evans competing on setting a record every time somebody plays Southside.
Now I remember one year though. Now hold on, I remember one year though. Now Ken Evans, he's offensive coordinator for somebody. I remember one year Southside played Westwood, and Southside hung in there with him, and then Westwood just blew it open. And that's when Southside in that game scored more than 7 points. I think they scored like 20.
More than like 20.
It was 20 points. 42. I remember that score 42-20. Yeah, I'm like, damn, Now,
before Southside closed, they had a pretty good offense in the last years that they were open. But like during the years where they had to play Whitehaven and Hamilton,
they regressed back to what they knew. That's what I heard though, man. I mean, that's what I heard. The football team they started getting with the times as far as the offense went. They started doing shit that everybody's excited to see them do. But their ass could never win.
Yeah, I remember I remember when Southside put 30 points up on Martin Westview with Justin Harrell and Raphael Hill, Justin Harrell ended up playing for the Green Bay Packers, but they put up like 30 points. And you talking about Raphael Hill? Raphael Hill was a beast at running back over at Martin Westview. But they managed to put some points up on there. So I'm like, go ahead, Southside. I'm like, they threw the ball on their bitch asses. But the thing about it is, when you playing up against homegrown, country-fed people, especially in football, oh man, it's like, they had no defense for their asses, but they hung in there while they could hang in there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But I agree with everything what David Black said, and everybody saying that David Black salty, and everybody. I know Shannon Sharp said something about why is everybody basing they past grudges off the Michael Jordan documentary. Now, who he need to get on about that? He need to get on Draymond Green about that shit, because Draymond, what Draymond Green was talking about, looking at something, he was disappointed with Michael Jordan, and we talked about that last week. Oh, Shark Mouth fans, get the fuck out of here! You wasn't your mama's titties was getting big when Michael Jordan was playing. We won the championship. So what the fuck, But Shannon Sharp said something about that. Why is everybody basing all of a sudden coming out with the T after looking at this documentary? Because if you said it then, you in the wrong. David Black had every right to say what he had to say. And it's really the truth. I ain't got nothing against David Black, man. He telling the truth. LeBron more about himself than he is about the team. And even Skip Bayless say he doesn't. Skip Bayless said, let's not. He had to tell Shannon. He said if he's all about the us, why did he go out on public and say 3 years ago we're fucking top heavy? We need a playmaker.
Well, why don't you make the plays as the so-called GOAT? You gotta find a way to win with what you got, man. That was my issue with that. That's what was pissing me off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, was they wasn't finding ways to make the plays. The only time they did that was during the time they beat Golden State. And I felt like Golden State basically gave away the NBA finals to the goddamn Cleveland Cavaliers, aka the Cleveland Stratoliers. So, nevertheless, man, I think LeBron needs to step it up, man. Because if he can't win with Anthony Davis, and I don't know how the NBA gonna do the season now that we had the.
I think Corona. They canceled.
You think they canceled it? Okay, so we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully they didn't, because they don't have the Olympics to worry about, because the Olympics is going to be in 2021. So, but with that being said, if they have an NBA season this year or next year, he only got a couple of years to win a championship at this point. If he don't win a championship with the Lakers, his career going to be mud, man, because every Laker fan is going to continue to get on his ass about not at least bringing them one championship. The Lakers, the standard is to win a championship. The standard ain't to get to the finals. The standard is to win the championship. So, play with that jersey if you want, but that jersey hold a lot of weight, and that purple and gold holds a lot of weight. LeBron can't be LeBrick being a Laker.
And then And they're talking about how much money he puts into his body and all this other stuff. They're talking about he spend $1 million a year. Big whoop.
Yeah, and that's good. I think more people need to do that. I think more people need to.
Let me tell you something. Michael Jordan didn't spend that much money on my cousin.
Well,
but and that man was in shape.
Yeah, but.
She was the housekeeper and that man's cook.
But sometimes, I'll say this, sometimes it takes money to stay healthy too. You know,
Yeah,
let's
and
just
and like I said, she knew what he wanted to eat. Like on Sundays, he wasn't playing the game on Sunday. He wanted soul food, Jack. That's what I said. He wanted soul food.
yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to spend that much money. It's just, LeBron in his situation being older, that's probably what you're gonna have to spend because it's expensive to eat healthy. I'm gonna tell you that
And
now.
he's 36. He'll be 36 years old. And he don't drink. I think he said he don't drink beer. He's a wine drinker, so he don't drink beer or none of the hard stuff. He's a wine drinker.
Yeah, so but
So
yeah.
I mean, but big whoop. But look, everybody want to talk about David Blatt in the wrong. No, David Blatt in the right. What David Blatt was in the wrong about was he was in the wrong for being fired for doing his job right. And we all know. And then when David Griffin said that the firing didn't come from him, it came from above. Yeah, we knew it was Dan Gilbert. And it was fucked up because the Cleveland Browns, the Cavaliers had the fucking best record.
They had the best
in
record
the East. In the East.
Fired because they have the best record in the East. If you don't get all the way out of here with that bullshit, that was some fuck shit. That's just what it is. So the brick, you got to step it up, man. You got to step it up, man. But again, ass ain't to go.
And my mom said something. Now my mom is a Lakers fan, but she's not a fan of LeBron. And she even said, "How you gonna go from your hometown team to going somewhere down there pulling up lame down there?" This is what she said. How you gonna go from your home team to pulling up lame down there in the coast back to your home team? Now all of a sudden you want to come to LA to the Lake? You know what I said in the middle of that? You're gonna pull up lame down there in the coast, up in Florida.
I mean,
my mom's blind, but she got ears. So,
but I don't knock his decision for going to the South Beach. I don't knock his decision to go back to
I don't knock it either. But see, he had a reason because he didn't like when Dan Gilbert fired Mike Brown. Now, if he hadn't fired Mike Brown, he would have stayed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Cleveland would have won a championship that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Mike Brown pretty much let LeBron do what he wanted to do in terms of offensively speaking. But Mike Brown just needed to make subtle adjustments. But I think he made the right decision to leave at that particular time. And I don't knock him going to the Lakers. I mean, Lakers is the standard for basketball. You know what I'm saying? Right. The Celtics was the standards for basketball, but right now in modern day basketball, the Lakers are the standards for basketball. And who are you to say no to Magic Johnson? You're not going to say no to Magic Johnson, especially with somebody you idolize just like you do Michael Jordan. You're not going to say no to Magic Johnson. Everybody knew when that rumor came out that he was going to go to the Lakers, and that's what it was. Magic Johnson gets what he wants. You know what I'm saying? In that situation, you're not going to say no to Magic Johnson at that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things right there. It's just hard to turn down. $155 million, and you getting all the attention in the world, and in Hollywood. Come on, But that's what that for me. That's for me. You got anything else you want to put on that?
No, we got a couple. But we got a fan question we need to answer right quick before we sign off.
Okay.
This comes from Sammy down there in Florida. He wants to know from us. He said, "Hello, guys. Been listening to the show for quite a minute. Nice little information in regards about football and basketball as far as offenses and greatest all-time players and everything else goes. I want to know from Jimmy, since now that Tom Brady is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do you think Bruce Arians will handicap him or let him run the offense?"
He's gonna let Tom Brady do what he do best. I don't think he's gonna handicap Tom Brady.
Nah.
Yeah, he's gonna let him do what he do best. Now that he got Gronkowski, jack-legged ass back, and I think Gronkowski need to sit his ass down too, because he just got too many injuries that's gonna come resurface, and the fact that people, hit him below the knees a lot, and that's part of football. But
Yep.
Gronkowski's gonna make himself a target, and I don't, that's just not one of those things he should come back for. But more power to him, and more power to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be some excitement for Tampa Bay. I just don't know how far in the playoffs they're gonna get. Some people saying Super Bowl. I don't know yet. I got to see what teams look like in the NFC. Next question.
Well, I got to answer.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't think so either. But you also got to think about another quarterback by the name of Peyton Manning that got handicapped like a motherfucker in his last year. When they won the when he won the Super Bowl under Gary Kubiak. He basically shut Peyton Manning down and lied to everybody. Said, "No, I ain't shut Peyton. I didn't shut him down. I just don't believe in letting somebody run the offense the way they want to." You basically admitted you shut him down. You don't let somebody like Peyton Manning not call your offense. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, Peyton Manning is one of the smartest QBs there is, but when it comes to the playoffs, no. Let's see. He got his ass whooped the first year of the playoffs. He got beat by the Titans. Then he got beat by the Dolphins. Peyton Manning has a losing record in the playoffs. Yet he's the greatest of all time, but he has a losing record in the playoffs. When he let's go with the Denver years, shall we? Under John Fox, first year at Denver. They choked against Joe Flacco and Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Second year, they went to the Super Bowl and stunk the joint up against Seattle. To the point where Richard Sherman even said that if they had played the 49ers when he was at the Seahawks at the time, he said if they had played the 49ers, Peyton would have had a major problem on his hand, which he would have, because Peyton don't understand. Peyton has admitted that the 3-4 defense is hard to prepare for on his end. Wow. I mean, I give it to him on that. Okay, the following year, they lost to New England in the AFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. Then John Fox gets fired.
Oh, they lost to. I'm sorry, they lost to Indianapolis, and then Indianapolis lost to England. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they lost to Indianapolis. Andrew Luck beat the successor. They didn't have no business losing that game in Indianapolis anyway.
Exactly.
Then John Fox gets fired by John Elway because John Elway wanted to look in a different direction. He just wanted to get his boy up there, Gary Kubiak. Peyton Manning all of a sudden, don't know what the whole gist was about that. He went from under John Fox from having consecutive 5,000-yard passing seasons to a 3,000-yard passing year in his final year. They won the Super Bowl because Gary Kubiak handicapped him. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what happens. So, just giving Sammy, I'm just giving you a comparison of what happens when you handicap a quarterback as good as Peyton Manning, because we spoke, and Jimmy and I we spoke high praises of Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians ain't no fool. He ain't, if he ain't no fuckboy like that. He ain't gonna handicap nobody. Mm-hmm. He just said, I just want Peyton to learn. He just wanted Tom Brady to learn the playbook. That's it. It ain't gonna take Tom Brady long to learn that shit. Believe me. Mm-hmm. Now up in New England, I still felt they dropped the ball by not getting Andy Dalton. On a side note, but they ain't gonna. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think New England gonna make the playoffs because, like Town Biz Sports reported this morning. Shout out to him. How the fuck does Ryan Fitzpatrick, a journeyman like Ryan Fitzpatrick, have a job and Cam Newton don't?
I agree. I totally agree.
I'm about sick of Ryan Fitzpatrick anyway, so
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm the hill. I'm sick of him too. I'm the hill. I'm sick of that motherfucker too. So it is what it is, man.
Yep. Yeah. But other than that, man, I ain't got nothing. I think this is a great show.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think it's a great show too, man.
Yep. So yeah, more like with the way this is my ESPN that be crashing when the Last Dance be on, I'm gonna have to watch it tomorrow.
That's probably when I'm gonna have to watch either that or Thursday. That or Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So if you ain't got nothing else, man, this your boy live and direct in full effect out the 832 with my homeboy out the 662. And y'all already know how both of us do. Peace out. Keep on practicing social distancing. If your ass got to be around some people, wear a mask, because that's what the fuck I do. So peace out.
And the pleasure has been all yours. I'll just